Tonight, just garbage, complete garbage tonight. Name my topic tonight is called Worthless, Wasted, and Wacky. Worthless, Wasted, Wacky, and Wild in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Will Dynasty be good in 2 weeks? So much I gotta say. Before I do, I'm open something with a little bit of music. I want to show with his number one hit single from 1986 called West End West End Girls by Pep Shop Boys. Stick around, right back. Yep, Pet Shop Boys, West End Girls, all you just heard. So let's get down to tonight's terrible show. By the way, um, Ron Breaker was originally set to face um, Seth Rollins for WrestleMania 42 in Vegas. There's some news for all that, whatever you want to hear. So they had to replace him with Gunther. But I feel like this Gunther he just joined the New Day, just joined Division. But who knows? Here we go. It's April Fool's Day, by the way. Here we go. It seems that AEW is having some fun on April Fool's Day. This week they kick things off with a power cut off of Tony Schiavone as he introduces the contract signed between Moore and Jackass Freeman and Kenny Omega for AEW Dynasty. That's not the only thing that interrupts Tony. However, as Judas begins to play, revealing the return of Y2 Jackass Chris Jericho. The crowd sings along with his theme as he makes his way through to the ring. When the music finally dies down, the crowd starts chanting, "Welcome back," as his name as he acknowledges the crowd for it, which gets another big pop. He poses for the crowd some more as they chant, "Welcome home." Jericho gets a mic as he finally addresses the crowd. "Winnepeg, AEW, I'm home." Chris Jericho's music hits as the crowd cheers some more. Commentary addresses him returning after nearly a year away. They don't get to focus on that for long as he cut backstage where Will Ospreay is seen going after Jon Moxley. Yu tries to break things up only to be sent into some kegs before security arrives to put a stop to things here. They pull him away as we head back to ringside where Moore Jackass Freeman makes his entrance to get his contract signing underway. Out next is another Canadian classic in Kenny Omega as the number one contender heads to the ring. As two men sit across the table from each other, it seems to get through smooth sailing on them signing the contract. Kenny interrupts Max trying to talk running the champion down for always having something to say. He says he knows that this is where the best wrestle before acknowledging his close call with a massive health scare not that long ago, and how the fans stood by his side because they want something better than Warren Jackass Freeman as champ. Kenny has never wanted to call himself more than a professional wrestler, but he is the atheist to what Freeman is, the devil. Maybe he could be a guy of professional wrestling. This gets a laugh out of the champ who remarks about Kenny claiming he's 100% before making fun of Canadians and saying Kenny is one strong gust of wind away from retirement. But Warren Jackass Freeman doesn't want to talk about that. He wants to talk about the one thing that Omega doesn't want to talk about. He asks the fans if they're curious why Kenny is so enamored with winning the world title. He talks about the Triple B being highly sought after. There's more to the story than that, revealing Kenny had a trip to the doctor who told Omega that in Kenny's days in the ring are numbered. When Warren Jackass Freeman beats Kenny at Dynasty, the fans will admit that their guy is nothing more than a man who would rather be dead. This angers Omega, who rises out of his seat, looking like he's about to break the contract rule. The no contract rule as Warren Jackass Freeman tries to goad him into it. But out comes Speedball Mike Bailey, who tries to calm Omega down. He grabs Omega, he grabs the mic from MJF, saying that he's trying to get out defending the title because he's afraid. He says that without Kenny Omega, there is no AEW. Without AEW, there is no Warren Jackass Freeman. He says that the only place Freeman is living a legend in his own head before offering to beat some sense in the champ's head. Omega reveals he had a chat with Warren Jackass Freeman's doctor as well, saying that he's been missing 24 inches of intestine, but that's better than missing his balls. This riles up Warren Jackass Freeman, who says Baylor's challenge, but he's not just facing any old MJF, he's facing an American hero. Warren Jackass Freeman's music hits as the champ makes his exit from the ring. Out comes the man as they face Kenny Omega and two pals and Jungle Jack Perry in our opening match. Brody King makes his entrance as we go to a quick commercial break. Back from break, Jungle Jack Perry made his Jungle Boy Jack Perry made his entrance in this trios match as it gets underway. Trios match: AEW National Champion Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Brody King, and Kenny Omega versus the Diamond, Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Tonga Leola. We start with Omega and Khan, the latter trapping Kenny in the side headlock. Omega counters with his own before hitting the ropes, but Ricochet catches him with a knee to distract him. Bishop lands some shots before making the tag to Leo. He and Ricochet double team the best spout machine. Kenny dodges a strike from Ricochet for a tag to Brody King, who lays some heavy shots on the former national champion for the cover, only for GOA to break it up. They go after King, sending him to the outside where Omega tries to intervene as well before Perry lands on the field with a moonsault. This gives Ricochet an opening as he brings Brody into the ring. Brody counters for a suplex before Teola intervenes, and this quickly becomes a PWG special as the rest of the competitors join for a chain suplex that ends with Omega connecting with a move, sending all of them to the mat. Perry is the first to his feet, but is sent to the outside where he is blindsided by Lola as we go to a break. Back from break, did the man have Perry cornered as they continue to beat him down? Toa is the legal man as he drops Jack for a cover in the 2 count. A tag is made to Khan as the beatdown continues until Perry breaks free for a tag to Omega. He takes Ricochet to the corner before getting a near fall on Khan, but Toa is right there to break it up. Leona gets the tag, but now in comes Brody, and then the man gets stacked in the corner for a big cannonball from King. This allows Kenny to go for a cover, but Leona kicks out at 2. Tag made to Ricochet as Teola runs down Perry and Omega, and Ricochet hits a dive on Brody King. Both men back in the ring as Khan takes out King with a drop kick, and Ricochet lands on a moonsault on Omega for a near fall. Perry pulls Ricochet out of the ring, followed by a GOA. He goes for a dive over the ropes. They catch him in midair but get strapped to the floor. With a dive by King. And Omega goes for a dive of his own, only to be dropped by Ricochet. He sends Brody off the apron before landing a dive. Back on his feet is Ricochet, who climbs the turnbuckle for a 450. But takes a knee strike instead. V triggers dodge, but reverse run is not as Ricochet gets dropped back to the canvas. Outside the ring, Tola and Brody go at it, leading to Rick King sending Leo over the timekeeper table. Back in the ring, Ricochet lands a thrust kick and enziguri on Omega, followed by a vertical, but Kenny kicks out before the 3. Khan lands the national championship to Ricochet, but Perry stops him long enough for Omega to set up a one-winged angel. Ricochet reverses into a run for a 2, only to be sent to the ropes for a V trigger, followed by one-winged angel as Omega picks up the win. Winners via pinfall: AEW National Champion Jungle Jack Perry, Brody King, and Kenny Omega. The trio celebrates as we cut backstage where Will Nightingale talks about an open challenge for a AEW TBS title at Collision tomorrow night. Elsewhere, Renee looks for a word from Cage and Cope as the two arrive with a pair of chairs. Cope says tonight isn't the night for a chat. They are looking for some revenge on FTR. As Cage confirms the seriousness of all this as he storms off before we go to commercial break. Commercial break. We follow Cage and Cope to the FTR locker room where they bump up into RPGs and Vice instead. Romero and Trent say FTR will be at Collision tomorrow night, but they will take a message for the champs. Cage says these guys are in their way. And the family they leave is a chair to shot on two. Chair shot on two. Members of the Doncaster family, Cage and Cope leave the locker room as we head back to ringside. Pac makes his entrance through the crowd as we hear from Renee, who relays a message from Pac as he enters the ring for our next match. Will Ospreay makes his entrance as well, but Pac is a sneaky man running up behind Ospreay to blindside him on the ramp. Officials and medics come out to check on Ospreay, who calls for some space as he is slowly stirring. The big focus is on Ospreay's neck here, as we overhear the medic telling Ospreay he doesn't have to go, but Will is having none of that as he starts heading to the ring. The crowd chanting his name as Ospreay is being told by the doctor to back off, only to slide into the ring anyway. Will insists he is good, and the ref calls for a bell to get this match underway. Will Ospreay versus Pac. Pac stomps away at Ospreay, targeting the neck and he forces Will to the ropes. Ref intervenes to check on Ospreay, who claims he's fine as Pac starts to go back after him as we go to a break. Ad break on HBO Max. Back from break, Pac has Ospreay trapped in a caravan before Will manages to break free to go to the corner. He lands on a rather phenomenal looking forearm off the ropes for the cover, but Pac kicks out at two. Pac lands some shots before being sent to the corner, but he fights back from the corner before Ospreay manages to counter a suplex into one of his own, 450 from the aerial assassin, but it's only good for two. Ospreay back to his feet, saying he sends Pac to the outside, but Pac intercepts him in the corner as the two go at it. Ospreay goes for a diving sunset powerbomb, but Pac blocks it for a moonsault into a DT, sending Will to the floor below. Both men are down as the ref begins to count. Pac returns before the count of 8 as Ospreay manages to slide in just in time, only for Pac to trap him in the brutalizer. Ospreay crawls over to get a foot on the ropes, forcing a break as we go to an ad break. Ad break on HBO Max. Back from break, the two men trade shots in the middle of the ring. This escalates to a missed kick from Ospreay as the Pac catches him with a German suplex in a 2 count. Pac hits the ropes but gets caught by Ospreay, who twists him around for a powerbomb and a near fall of his own. He takes Pac down once more but only gets a 2 for his efforts. Ospreay goes to the corner but is intercepted by Pac, who has some strong words for someone in the crowd before setting Ospreay up on the top for a poison rana, but Ospreay lands on his feet. He charges at Pac, who catches him with a hair crown for 2. They change offense until Pac gets a 2 count. But then drops Ospreay down hard. He goes up for a back arrow into a brutalizer, trapping Ospreay near the ropes until Ospreay powers up to his feet. But not for long as he drops down the canvas. Ref checks on Ospreay, who refuses to give up as he reaches a foot toward the ropes. Room for Pac to roll through, bringing him back to the middle to the ropes. But Ospreay manages to counter for a pin as he gets the 3 count for the win. Winner via pinfall, Will Ospreay. No time for celebration. Pac has attacks as well, rings the bell before the rest of the Death Riders follow suit. Claudio wraps a chair around Will Ospreay's neck, but Mox holds him back to get a microphone. He says, "The six of us here. How do you think this was gonna go?" This could have been a very bad situation, but he's going to give Ospreay some advice. Next time, use your head, or you'll lose it. With that, the Death Riders leave Ospreay in the middle of the ring before heading through the crowd as a graphic reveals Mox will have a Continental title eliminator match against Rollins tomorrow on Collision. Commentary runs down what's to come tonight before we go to commercial. Commercial break. We head back to ringside for our next match as the Triangle of Madness are first to make their entrance. Out next is Marina Shakira, followed by Brawling Birds as we head to the ring to get this trio match underway. Trios match: Marina Shakira and the Brawling Birds, Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter versus the Triangle of Madness, Thekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. Since I'm going after Thekla first, with the champion is quick to dodge attack before Sky tags in. Blue takes the fight to Shirakawa in the corner, but Marina manages to fight back before hitting the ropes for a clothesline. Windsor tag to Windsor, who hits the ropes by a blind tag by Hayter, leads to Brawling double team on a near fall. Mina comes to for an further assist before getting a tag to who hits Tornado to Sky for a count. Blue fights on Mina before knocking off the Birds off the apron, and this allows Thekla to get a chance to lay boot in the head of Shirakawa. He sends Mina back into the ring as we go to an ad break on HBO Max. Back from break, we get to PWG special once more as all six ladies hit a chain suplex, sending each other to the mat. Windsor and Thekla are first back to their feet as they trade shots until Mina gets a tag for some revenge on Champ. She takes Thekla to the mat for a figure four leg lock, but a triangle run in to save all six women to go back at it. This ends with Mina and Thea once more as they knock each other to the mat as the ref begins to count. They go back up for tags to Julia and Jamie Hayter through the Brawling Birds to deal with Thekla trying to use some brass knuckles to stop before taking out Sky Blue and the Champ, and Jamie hits hard with Hardy Gray for the win. Winners via pinfall: Mina Shakira and the Brawling Birds, Alex Windsor, Jamie Hayter. We take a look at the Backjack Battle Royal situation. He talks about with that we head back to ring where Darby Allin comes out with a microphone. He says, "You're not keeping wait on." I'm sorry. We take a look back at Blackjack Battle Royal and the situation between Juice Robinson and Tommaso Ciampa for these two face off tomorrow on Collision. With that, we head back to ringside where Darby Allin comes out with a microphone. He said he was keeping on the throttle until he meets God, but since he's not around, since he wants to talk to the devil. He talks about MJF's dealings with Don Callis' family and how he hopes that anyone can beat MJF. He can stop this BS that he's on. He calls out MJF, but he's met with Don Callis' family instead. Callis talks about how much they paid out to the champ, and that the Warren Jack Extreme had a pin-picked member of the family facing Darby at Dynasty. Darby wins, then MJF will be happy to give a title shot for world title after he destroys Kenny Omega, and the handpicked member that will face Darby is Andrade El Diablo. Andrade looks surprised by this before Don says he also paid a good sum to take out Darby right now, and the family go after him. They started to go after Darby when Brody comes out for the save, forcing the family to retreat before Kenny Omega comes out to ringside as we go to commercial break. Back at ringside, Omega has gone out to commentary as Warren Jacobs makes his entrance for our main event. Out next is Speedball Mike Bailey, but Warren Out next is Speedball Mike Bailey, but Warren Jacobs blindsides him before this match gets underway. AEW World Title Eliminator match: Warren Jacobs versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Bailey starts to fight back, but was quickly sent to the outside as the champ maintains control. He brings Bailey back into the ring before the Speedball blocks him. He sends Warren Jacobs to the ropes for a Hurricanrana, but the champ counters with a power bomb for 2. Warren Jacobs brings Speedball to his feet, but gets tripped up instead. Warren Jacobs lands on a thumb to the eyes, but a series of thrust kicks by Bailey in response before being sent to the mat. Bailey continues with a flurry of offense for a standing shooting star press in a 2 count. Bailey hits the ropes for a lunging kick to the face of the champ before taking him to the floor below. Ref begins to count, but Speedball brings Warren Jacobs back in the ring for another kick, taking the champ out. Goes up top, but Warren Jacobs rolls out of the way to the apron, hanging Speedball up on the ropes in the process. Warren Jacobs comes back for a backbreaker, but Bailey counters for a 2. Warren Jacobs gets a near fall as well before Bailey stacks him up with a straight jacket for a closed 2 count before the champ kicks out. Bailey heads to ropes as Warren Jacobs goes for a head seat seeker, but Bailey breaks free for a Liger bomb that gets a near fall. Both men are down as the ref checks on them, and Bailey rolls to the ropes, only to be intercepted by the champ. Warren Jacobs looks for a heat seeker, but sells for a low drop kick instead, sending Speedball to the floor. He finds Kenny at commentary and flips him off before going back into the ropes and looks for another heat seeker on a returning Bailey, who counters out, sending the champ to the floor as we go to an ad break. Back from the break, Bailey regains control as he sets up for an ultimate weapon, but Warren Jacobs rolls out of the way, only to take a kick from Speedball. Another one sends the champ over to a corner, and this allows ultimate weapon off the most dangerous rope as Bailey covers for a 2 count. Warren Jacobs starts to turn things back around as he hits a tombstone power driver, sending Speedball into the apron, staring at Omega as he yells, "God bless America," for dropping Bailey with a heat seeker for the win. Winning by pinfall, Warren Jacobs celebrates his win for just a moment before attacking Bailey after the match. Omega manages to run him out of the ring. The champ holds his title up high, telling Omega to look at his future before heading to the back as Omega comes out to check on Bailey as commentary runs down tomorrow night's special edition of Collision. Omega helps Bailey to his feet as the crowd cheer, and Bailey replays the favor by holding Kenny's arm up high as Dynamite comes to a close. Bad show tonight. This is a very bad show tonight. Chris Jericho had to mess things up. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Okay, we got that covered now. Let's go to time for some history wrestling birthdays. Let's go to yesterday, March the 31st. Okay, yesterday was a happy birthday. Yesterday would have been a happy birthday to Otto von Heller. He was born March 31st, 1943. He would have been oh boy, he would have been how would he been? He would have been today. Hogan, 83 years old yesterday. He was 83 years old. He died on July 27th, 2010. His real name is Michael Hull, is his real name. Yesterday was a happy 30. It was a happy 37th birthday to Debbie Keitel. Her real name is Irish wrestler Debbie Keitel. Her real name was Cadell Joyce. Is her real name. The Mongol would have been 99 yesterday. He died on February 1st, 1986. His hometown was Chicago, Illinois. His real name was Simeon Ardling. And yesterday on WCW, on WCW, oh no, wait, WCW main event. Wait, hold on, wait, Primetime Wrestling on the eve before WrestleMania, 2. Show highlights of matches from house shows. Sifi Afi pinned Renee Goulet with a fine body press. Brian Blair and Jim Brazil defeated Les Thornton and Barry O. This is from that was Boston Garden, March 8th, 1986. The one with CFI versus Canary Galay. This match, tag team match, Brian Blair and Jim Rozelle defeating Les Thornton and Barry O. Um, was from March 11th, 1986 in Poughkeepsie, New York. Jake the Snake Roberts defeated Jose Luis Rivera with DDT at Boston Garden, March 8th, 1986. Ted RDC defeated Barry O via submission with a bear hug on March 8th, 1986 in Boston Garden. Corporal Christian defeated Iron Mike Sharp after hitting him with his own forearm at 9:56. Boston Garden, March 8th, 1986. Jim Neidhart Neidhart with Master Jimmy Hart pinning Scott McGee with a power slam in Boston Garden, March 8th, 1986. And on WCW main event, yeah, it's showing there's highlights of everything. It is showing highlights and everything. That's Mean Gene Okerlund and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Then a little pre-show, for WrestleMania 12. A little pre-show before WrestleMania 12. There was a free for all pay-per-view. I know a friend of mine from Pittsburgh remembers that. The Godwins. The Godwins defeated the Body Downs defeated the Godwins. And then the second bout was all about a singles match. They're trying to do a mockery WCW, the Hulkster, Nacho Man, Perry the Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, who joined former WWE stars who joined as compared to WCW, trying to do a mockery of Ted Turner, billionaire Ted. And the first show opening, and then it all started. WrestleMania 12 in Anaheim, California, Anaheim, Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim. 18,853 were in attendance. No friend of mine from Pittsburgh remembers that. The first bout and opening match was a six-man tag team match. The British Bulldog, David Boy Smith, Owen Hart, and Vader. Kent Cornette faced against Ahmed Johnson, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Yokozuna. And Owen Hart, Kent Cornette won. And the fourth bout was a Hollywood Blacklock Ball between Goldust and Roddy Piper. And Goldust won because they had cameras rolling and everything over there. And the fifth bout was a single match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Savio Vega. And Stone Cold won. And their footage, and they're trying to do a copy. They're trying to by the way about the match between Piper and Goldust. They're doing a parody. Trying to do a parody of O.J. Simpson's L.A. parody O.J. Simpson's L.A. Police Department pursuit back in '94. And the sixth match was Triple H against the Ultimate Warrior in his return to the WWE. And Ultimate Warrior won't beat him. And the sixth bout was what happened was there was Mark Merrill making his WWE debut, who formerly Johnny B. Bad in WCW. Yeah, the weapon was after his loss, Triple H backstage after the loss to the Ultimate Warrior, they got in the brawl with Mark Merrill in the brawl backstage. The seventh bout was between Big Daddy Cool Diesel and Kevin Nash and The Undertaker. And The Undertaker won the match by pinfall and chokeslam, making his fifth WrestleMania 5-0. The streak was 5-0. The Undertaker. And the main event saw one of the greatest matches of all time was Bret the Hitman Hart defending his WWE title against Shawn Michaels in an Iron Man match, with a stipulation which led the wrestler won most falls in 60 minutes would win the match toward the end of the match. Neither man won any falls. Hart applied the sharpshooter to hold Michaels, but the time expired without Michaels submitting. As Hart begins to leave with his title, WWE President Gorilla Monsoon instructed the referee Earl Hebner to continue the match under sudden death rules. The ring announcer Harold Fink announced that there must be a winner. The match ended after where Michaels pinned Bret Hart, giving a sweet chin, making thus become the new WWE champion. And Bret Hart had to take a break from WWE after his loss to Shawn Michaels. This had positive. This is one of the best pay-per-view WrestleManias of all time. And this was Shawn Michaels' first time becoming the WWE champion. We all remember. Don't forget, Vince McMahon did commentary saying, "Oh, Michaels with a cover, Michaels. Oh, you gotta love it. Oh, you gotta love it. Michaels with a cover. 1, 2, yeah." And this is one this man did comment said, "The boyhood's dream has come true for Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, the new WWE champion." Yeah, that was one of the best matches of all main events of all time. That was one of the best. His first time becoming the WWE champion, Shawn Michaels. And then now March 31st, 2006, on the eve before WrestleMania 22, Chavo Guerrero defeated Rob Conway. Lance Cade defeated Ace Steel, and Goldust defeated Snitsky. Then on WWE Friday Night SmackDown, Chris Benoit defeated Ultimate Warrior. JBL defeated jobber Daniel Cross. Paul Burchill defeated Booker T with Sharmell by countout. Then the Boogeyman continues to scare him. Bobby Lashley, Mike Hardy, and Tatanka defeated Fit Finlay, and Eminem, Mercury, and Nitro with Melina. Mexico Psychosis and Super Crazy defeated Jamie Noble and Kid Cash, and Kurt Angle defeated Rey Mysterio. Yeah, Randy Orton said that he was gonna leave WWE. He was gonna leave. He was gonna take the night off. He was gonna go to Chicago, but it was all rules until Mysterio Mysterio got screwed by him, making Kurt Angle win. What a ruse! And this was the night that Mark Henry shows how many matches the Undertaker won, and he said he cut a promo so all WrestleMania matches that Undertaker won, and he says that he's 13-0 at WrestleMania. And he says that hopes that Sunday WrestleMania 2 he'll make it 13-1. Yeah, 13. He makes it possibly make it 13-1 at WrestleMania 22. Then on 2016. In 2006, a couple of movies were released in theaters. March the 31st. Yeah, couple movies released in theaters March the 31st. ATL, love that movie. Starring Keith David was in that movie, Kelty Wilson was in that movie, and Kevin Evan Ross was in that movie. Basic Instinct 2 sequel to 1992's Basic Instinct with Sharon Stone reprising the role as Catherine Trammell and David Morrissey. David Morrissey playing the this is like a this was had negative reviews called Basic Instinct 2 Risk Edition sequel to 1992's Basic Instinct. Yeah, Daniel. Yeah, he was like a this was in London. Yeah, he was like in this was when London when best singer Catherine Trammell was driving Perry, yeah, famous English football yeah. Yeah, this is when this is yeah, he's this guy this when he make me to British. This is when she meets a British he's like a British was he this is like he meets a like a British doctor in this movie. You see she seduces a British doctor or something. British psychiatrist Dr. Glass. And he becomes a victim. He does to him what he did to Michael Douglas's character, Nick, special um, San Francisco police detective Nick Curran, first movie. Yeah, yeah. 2016. On 2016 on SmackDown. For WrestleMania 32. This is in Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. AJ Styles defeat Heath Slater with Aaron Rose, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel, Yvonne Dudley, Bobby Ray Dudley, Jey Uso. Dean Ambrose defeated Eric Rowan. Okay, right now it's 12:02. By the way, just hit April 2nd. Now we go to yesterday, April Fool's Day, April the 1st. April 1st, 2016, a little wrestler passed away. His name was Akeem Manua. It's unknown what he died of. He was in some known what place he was born. He was wrestling in WWE when it was called the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. And another wrestler died on the same day, April 1st, 2016. Jeff Ports, British wrestler, wrestled in AWA and Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling and NWA Big Time BTA Dallas, Texas. Yesterday, Randy Orton turned 46 yesterday. He set to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 42 Vegas. Jesse Swanson turned 37. Let's see what April the 1st. Monday Night Wars. Monday Night Wars. On the Monday Night Wars, we started with WWE Monday Night Raw, and this was the night that Mick Foley made his WWE debut as Mankind. The night after WrestleMania 12, and Bret Hart showed on this night due to his loss to Shawn Michaels. Wait, hold on a second. One thing I've got to mention. On WCW Prime, the Burial Brothers defeated the Burial Brothers. Burial Brothers defeated Mark Winter and Rick Garcia. Now let's go back to Monday Night Raw. This took place in San Bernardino, California, at the Orange Pavilion. And yeah, Mankind, Mick Foley in his WWE debut, his Mankind defeated Bob Holly. And Mark Marrow makes his WWE Raw debut. Wildman Mark Marrow with Sable. His then wife defeated Isaac Ingram DDS. The Body Done, Skip and Zip with Sonny defeated Aldo Montoya and Barry Horowitz retained the WWE Tag Team Championship. And then Shawn Michaels cuts a promo about how he defeated Bret Hitman Hart. Then The Undertaker defeated Justin Bradshaw. Justin Bradshaw via DQ, some of you know is JBL. Then on Monday night, and then on Monday night, those the Monday night show on TNT, Cleveland, Ohio. Nope, the show opens up with Giant facing defeating Sting by DQ. Steiner Brothers, Rick and Scott defeated the Nasty Boys, Brian, Knobs and Sags in the Ultimate Warriors, Hawk and Animal in a Triangle Tag Team match. And Hulk Hogan and the Booty Man, some of you know, was Bruce the Barber Beefcake and the Disciple, with the Booty Babes and Kimberly defeated Arn Anderson and Kevin Sullivan with Miss Elizabeth and Woman. Ric Flair with Miss Elizabeth and Woman defeated Lex Luger, retaining the WCW title. And Bobby Heenan pulled a little April Fool's joke saying he's retiring, but that was a ruse, a little April Fool's joke. Then on WWE Velocity. Then on WWE Velocity. Sky Too High defeated Sean O'Hare. Gemini defeated Paul London and Brian Kendrick. And Orlando Joy defeated Ace Steel, Big Vito, and Sho Funaki. Then on NTNA Impact, March the 1st, 2006. America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris and James Storm, Gail Kim and Jackie Gay defeated James Gang, Kip, BG James, and Kip James to retain the NWA Tag Team Championships. Mojo and defeated Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin and Sunday that in the TNA X Division TNA Division title #1 contendership four-way. Then on the same day, the WWE Hall of Fame took place. 2016 WWE Hall of Fame. Mean Gene Okerlund was introduced to the WWE Hall of Fame by Hulk Hogan, and rest in peace to these two that no longer with us. Ted DiBiase introduced Sensational Sherry. Greg Gagne introduced his father, Vern Gagne. Special Delivery Jones. Special Delivery Jones introduced Mr. USA Tony Atlas into the WWE Hall of Fame. And Chris Benoit, Rey Mysterio, and Chavo Guerrero introduced Eddie Guerrero into the WWE Hall of Fame. God rest his soul. And Stone Cold Steve Austin events the man he feuded with in at WrestleMania 13, bred him and Hart into the WWE Hall of Fame. And that's it. Yep, and that's let's see what else. (2016) a movie called couple movies released in theaters March the 1st. Meet the Black starring Mike Epps, Gary Owen, and Charlie Murphy, late Charlie Murphy. Supporting cast includes George Lopez and Mike Tyson. Meet the Blacks. God's Not Dead starring Melissa Joan Hart and Jesse Metcalf and Ernie Hudson was released in theaters. Supporting cast and Robin Givens and Ray Wise and late Fred Dalton Thompson. And his final film role, political representative. Miles Ahead starring Don Cheadle, Ewan McGregor was released in theaters. And Pandemic, starring Rachel Nichols and Missy Pyle and Mekhi Phifer, was released. And that's it. That'll do it for my everything. The Godfather Soldiers, Lemons, Lake Chance Show. Say like dress up Chuck, Chuck, dance like Larry, she dance like James Brown. Like to get in a hot tub and we sweat. I mean dry, maybe wet. Referring to A. Murphy doing an impression of James Brown on Saturday Night Live. So hope I have a good night. Good morning. It's 12:21. Um um. It's midnight. I'm out here. Peace.